One of the things that you often try to do when you're grading a clip is focus the viewer's attention on your subject. Well, there's another way you can do this with one of the effects inside the effects panel, and it's the lighting effect. Let's go ahead and put it on the clip, and I'll show you with a few tweaks how you can take this nice, pretty, yet plain shot and really add a lot of focus and drama to it. So I'm going to go into the effects panel. We're going to type in L-I-G-H-T-I-N-G, lighting. We're going to go ahead and put this effect on our clip. You'll notice immediately it appears that a spotlight is shining on him. And that's exactly what we're emulating. If we step into the control panel, you'll see that in the lighting effects, there are actually 5 lights we can work with. The first 4 are actually turned off, but the first one's put on, and the default is a spotlight. Now, you can use other types of light. You can use a directional light, or it can represent an omni, but we're going to continue and work with the spotlight. So the first thing I want to do is I want to throw some color on here. I want to use this spotlight to effect. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my eyedropper and sample a color that I want the light to be. And I want to match maybe the back wall, the browns in the back wall. So if I'm going to click on it, and you notice that now the light isn't pure white, it actually has a cast to it, and we can see that right here. So I already like what's happening, but I want to reposition the light and make it work, because my goal is to focus on our performer and kind of get our eye away from this right side of the wall. So I can control the light. If I click on the little icon to the left of the words lighting effects, I can actually see the lighting effect, and I can control this either with the GUI interface by simply grabbing it and moving it around, or I can stretch it out. I can also work with it using the sliders here. And to be honest, I actually go back and forth because sometimes I like the control of moving the angle here as opposed to trying to grab it right to the edge just right so my cursor turns to the little rotation icon. So I'll rotate it a little bit, and I want to move the light so it's kind of hitting him over here. So once I have the light positioned how I want it, and maybe I'll tweak that down a little bit, I have a lot of controls of what this light is going to do. Well, we've moved the center and we've changed the color, so I'm not going to deal with that. You can change the radius of the light, and I want to teach you a really cool little trick that's new in Premiere Pro 2015. I can use the up and down arrow keys once I've selected a numerical value to actually change this by 1 tick with each up or down arrow. If I want to go faster, I can hold down the Shift key and it jumps by a factor of 10. I think that's pretty cool. And just to top it off, if I use the Command key or the Control key on a Windows machine, I can actually move it here by 0.1 steps. So I really like this. This is great, and you can use this throughout the entire interface. Anytime you want to change a value, simply select it and use your up and down arrow keys. With that little secret out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and focus on the intensity. So I can make this light brighter or darker. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the intensity, and what that's going to do, it's going to draw our eyes away from the background. But I can even modify this a little more because there's an ambient light that's thrown on this entire scene. And I'm going to do 2 things with it. I can control the intensity of the ambience. So if I want, instead of leaving it at its default of 20, I can go ahead and bring that down. And this is another instance where I would select it and simply use the down arrow key until I get the look and feel that I want. So I brought it down. I think that's pretty good. I do want to change its color, so I'm going to go ahead, grab the eyedropper, grab, again, a piece of the wall. If you notice now, it's much darker because instead of a white light, it's a gray light. And this is something that you tend to go back and forth with. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up that intensity. I'm going to just use my mouse this time. And I think that's pretty good. You have a lot of controls here. You can work with 5 different lights and a bump map. So even after you finish the shoot, you can still change the lighting. As a matter of fact, notice there are stopwatches next to all of these controls. And you know what that means? It means you can actually animate your lighting effects over time. And remember, this is just one of the many effects that you can find in the effects control panel that can complement your color grading.